If you are an R. Kelly fan, this is not the episode for you. I repeat, if you are an R. Kelly fan, this is not the episode for you. You have been warned.
Self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are conversation con artists. What's going on? It's your boy Mr. On Point,
and I am Calamity Red,
and we're conversation con artists back for another episode.
This week's episode is being brought to you by R. Kelly's upcoming greatest hits album, the Pedo Edition. This album is going to contain great hits such as Your Body's Calling for some piss.
Your body's calling. Here I come, baby, for some urine.
Also, Bump and Grind, Pedo Edition.
Society's telling me no, but my body is telling me yes, baby. I don't see nothing wrong with under 20 overnight.
Also, Homie Lover Child, 12-year-olds play. It doesn't seem like you're ready.
It doesn't seem like you're ready. It doesn't seem like you're ready to go all the way.
When a minor's fed up.
When a minor's fed up. No matter how you beg, no, it ain't nothing you can do about it.
You remind me of something underage. Trapped in the cubbyhole. Step in the name of hopscotch. Down low. Your mother doesn't have to know.
Secret lovers is what you wanna be. It has to be that way because you're only 13.
Half on a Build-A-Bear. Get up on a playroom. If I could turn back the hands of time.
If I could turn back the hands of time, then my darling, you still be 9.
And also, Your Pigtails is Calling. So y'all make sure y'all check out that new album when it hits the stores.
R. Kelly Greatest Hits, Pedo Edition.
We such assholes.
If you're an R. Kelly fan, I'm not sorry. He did this to his damn self. I want to let y'all know something about the website. You go to www.conversationconartists.com. You can check out our current podcast episode as well as the stories linked to the current episode, our old episodes, as well as you can scroll over to the left and leave us some feedback. Subscribe to our newsletter and all of the things related to that. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. MISTER_on-point.
And I can be found at red_calamity. Also, we are still doing the listener letter portion of the show. If you have a question that you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to the website, or you can send it to the Gmail account, which is conversationconartist@gmail.com. And we actually had a letter from the website this week that I'm going to let Mr. On Point read.
This is from Mr. H. Appreciate you for sending in that letter, Mr. H. Let me get your opinion. I'm a political nut living in D.C. and a hopeless pragmatist. Pragmatist?
I think it's pragmatist.
Pragmatist. Wouldn't it be better if those that were against Trump just shut the fuck up, let Trump be Trump, and pretty much no guarantees, let Hill slide like a side chick through the back door into the White House? I mean, you don't really have to say much since he's his own worst enemy at every point. I mean, just put out a tweet every now and then to set him off, let him go nuts, sit back and let his poll numbers go down even further. I don't see the point in actually debating and arguing against his rhetoric. Dude is like that one kid in school who, when he gets punched in the face, will come back at you with a crazy eye and a wide Joker grin and begin punching himself in the face just to freak you out. I personally think the Democrats would do well to just sit back, drop some ads, and sip Kermit tea. Let me know what you think.
Well, Mr. H, I think you are exactly right. I actually think Mr. On Point I feel like you made a point about this on one of these last few episodes, but I think that's exactly what Hillary is doing. Hillary ain't out here saying shit, because guess what? Hillary don't need to say shit. Trump is out here assassinating himself on a daily basis. This motherfucker's out here saying that Obama started ISIS. I mean, what the fuck? Nobody needs to do anything. Just let him continue to. I don't even know that they need to like slip out any tweets or shit. He just on a roll all by himself, like all alone.
And that's not the only thing either. Like, all the people, like everybody in his camp are literally just putting out Donald Trump fires all the time. Yeah. They literally got to clarify the shit he talking about.
And then even when they clarify, sometimes he like, nope, I meant exactly what I said.
Like the comments he made about Obama and Hillary Clinton starting ISIS. Yes. He said, I don't think he know what the fuck sarcasm is, but he said that he said it. Then he verified that he said it and meant it, and then he said it was sarcasm. I don't think Donald Trump.
You don't mean sarcasm.
You
Trump.
Keep using that word. I don't think you understand what that word actually means, Donald Trump. Like, then he said Hillary Clinton, in order to win the presidency, some cheating gonna have to be done. Well, in Philadelphia, I think he was in Philadelphia. He said to win this state, some cheating gonna have to be done. How little do you respect democracy when the only understanding you have of the alternative of you not winning is that the other person just had to cheat? You know what I'm saying? It's like
that person that run the race and be like, you started, you had a head start. Exactly. No, you just fucking lost.
Or
that's
the person who lose and be like, I wasn't playing for real. Like, bitch, what you was out here for then? You look like you were playing for real to me.
You look like you was running your ass off. What are you talking about?
Like, that shit is stupid. But I'm gonna tell y'all my theory about Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is in a very peculiar situation for himself. I don't think he wants to be the president. I think that he started this shit off as let's see how far I can get, and now he's there. And I think he's trying to sabotage himself now. I think because at a certain point, when you get too deep, because right now he's in too deep.
He way too deep.
When you get in too deep of anything that any person ever get in too deep, you got to do one of three things. You either gotta go full speed for it and just say, fuck it, I'm in it. I'm just gonna go for it, which Donald Trump don't want because he don't want the presidency. You gotta back all the way out, which he clearly can't do. He got way too many supporters. He got way too many people. Like, his life, career, everything is gonna be over if he say, I'm sorry, y'all, I didn't mean to get this far. Wasn't planning for this shit to happen like this. I'm bowing out. That shit ain't gonna work. And his ego and his narcissism wouldn't allow him to do that anyway. So the next alternative, which he's been using, I think, to maintain as much integrity as he can and also potentially push himself out, is sabotage himself. He's created a situation where he's just saying all kind of stuff, all kind of crazy stuff. And to me, it makes more sense for him to be smart enough to sabotage himself than dumb enough to believe all of this shit he's talking about. Like, that's what I think.
I mean, yeah, I could see that, especially considering a lot of the stuff that this ain't even instigated. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just coming out of the blue with bullshit like Hillary and Obama are the founders of ISIS. Like,
just last week, just this last week now. The first thing was the Second Amendment comment where he was saying that, Hillary Clinton want to take your guns away and there's nothing you'll be able to do about it if she choose these Supreme Court justices. But, well, maybe you Second Amendment people, maybe it is something you can do about it. And the way that they trying to and then, I'm a fucking therapist, right? I have some skills in reading body language. The little gesture and shrug that he made after that was not a shrug that indicated that by voting and supporting your Second Amendment and your Republican candidates that are trying to make sure you have those rights, that wasn't that kind of shrug. It was a kind of shrug that said, if you do something, then, you know what I'm saying? Shit. I don't know. Ain't got nothing to do with me. That's what that fucking shrug was.
Yeah.
But they're spinning it to make it seem like, yeah, he said that the Second Amendment people can do something about it by voting. That's one thing. The Hillary Clinton, Obama creating ISIS, that's the second one. And then the third one was this, Hillary Clinton got to cheat. Like, to me, I just feel like he's disrespecting democracy. And he ain't doing it with a plan. He ain't doing it with a strategy. He's purely reactionary. And all these people are saying, Donald Trump, because I went down a whole list of like 35 actors that support Donald Trump. And I was not happy to see Bruce Willis being the first. I like his movie so much.
Aww. Why'd you ruin it for me?
Because I don't know if you care about Bruce Willis.
Just because you ruined Die Hard for you doesn't mean that you have to fucking ruin it for me. Damn it, I like Bruce Willis.
I like Bruce Willis. I just can't value his political perspective very much anymore. I never even knew it. Well, I mean, Hollywood be saying like Bruce Willis is an asshat. You know.
He seems like a cool. What do I know? I have never met this man.
I like John McClane.
I love Die Hard. Is one of my favorite action series movies. Die Hard with a Vengeance with Samuel L. Jackson being my favorite, just because Samuel.
Did you see the last one?
The new with his kid. Yeah, I saw that one. Okay.
There was at least 10 places that he should have died. Like they put 2 men. Like they made him completely untouchable in that movie. He supposed to die a bunch of times.
Die Hard with a Vengeance is my go-to favorite of that series. But damn it, I did not know.
But Samuel L. Jackson was speaking that real in that movie. If you kill a cop on the block today, it's gonna be 100 cops with itchy trigger fingers tomorrow. Yep. But
before his time.
But so it's a whole bunch of celebrities that support and follow Trump. I fucking lost my train of thought.
Are they still supporting him?
I don't know, because they had Charlie Sheen on the list, but Charlie Sheen told a story about Donald Trump being an asshole. Donald Trump had saw him in a restaurant and gave him a watch that he had, and he said it was like an expensive watch or a ring or a piece of jewelry. Mm-hmm. And Charlie Sheen was getting jewelry appraised, and then they said, "Hey, wait a minute, I got this thing for Donald Trump." They said it wasn't worth shit.
Who's surprised?
So he was like, Donald Trump was a fraud or whatever, but he was on that list, so I really don't know how valuable that list is, but I don't like Donald Trump. And I don't think that he should be the president. But I guess if you believe he should be the president, you should vote for him.
And if you do believe that he should be the president, this is definitely not the show for you, so I have no idea why you're listening right now. But yeah, I think that the Democrats are doing exactly what Mr. H is suggesting. They out here quiet as shit, like, because they don't need to say anything. When somebody is out here hanging himself, you really don't need to get in on that. Just let it happen. And I feel like that's what they're doing. They really not out here being vocal, like, cause they don't need to be. There's no need for it. Donald's shooting himself in the foot. He ain't got no foots left, as my grandmother.
But it's still, he still got a lot of support,
which just shows that people are idiots. That's all that shows. Like, how the fuck at this point? How can you, in good conscience, be a Donald Trump supporter? Like, at this point, I just feel like you have to be a misogynist, a racist. Like, there has to be something in this rhetoric that's speaking to you, and all of this rhetoric is negative shit. So at this point, his supporters, I'm side-eyeing y'all for real, because you can't possibly be following him because you feel like he's going to do what's best for the country. You might feel like he's going to do what's best for your race or your gender or your millions, but outside of that, like, no. So
it's people, this is what I was going to say. It's people that are saying I support Donald Trump because he's a businessman and because he know how to make money. Well, listen,
he had 4 companies go under and 2 successes. Like, his ratio from failure to success is not that great.
Well, America's not a fucking business.
It's not.
It's a fucking country.
It is.
Okay? That's what America is. Like, running a successful business is not running a successful country. And for America, you don't make money. You allocate funds to different things based on their priority and how to resolve issues based on where money is lacking in those situations. And I think he has shown to not be responsible in allocating money in his business ventures, as shown by him filing bankruptcy in the past.
Numerous times. Yeah, more than once.
Numerous
He's
times.
had a couple of companies go under.
So listen, y'all, it's one or two things. Donald Trump filed bankruptcy either means he is very irresponsible with money in some of his business ventures to the point of having to file bankruptcy, or he's taking advantage of the system. One of those two. Neither of those are good things. Neither of those are justifiable reasons to say this is why he should run America.
Nope.
Because he's a successful businessman. I don't know. I just he's just different. He's different. And I don't think you have to be a racist. I don't think you have to be a messiah. I don't think you have to be any of that stuff. But I think that you're really, really naive to the implications that a lot of his dialogue makes if you aren't any of those things and you support Donald Trump.
I don't know how you cannot be any of those things and still, because even, okay, let's say you feel like he's a good businessman. I don't know why you would feel that way, but how can that outweigh all of these other things? Because again, like when you're choosing a candidate, you now get to take 40% of Donald Trump and put him in the office. All of him gonna go into that office. So that's all of his ideas. That's all of this bullshit that he's out here saying about these different groups. You're supporting that as well and putting him in, because all of that come along with him. That little 40%, however much of a percentage of good business, which I still don't even think he has that, comes with all this other stuff. So at what point can you say, well, that outweighs the fact that he wants to build a wall, or that outweighs that he's constantly saying something offensive to groups that don't look like himself, or just what point does that outweigh all that?
Because to the Republican patriot, perceptually, those things are justified, because when he say build a wall, is to keep the illegal immigrants out, which is illegal for illegal immigrants to be over here, and so it's to keep out people that ain't supposed to be here anyway. What they don't realize is that has a profound effect on people that have been living here their whole lives, that don't have papers, and people who have children that are citizens, through current immigration laws. It don't take into consideration what it does to the population here. When he says that, the Muslim, anything about Muslims, well, to the Republican patriot, it perceptually looks like he's trying to protect America from terrorism. They just don't realize that there are tons of American Muslims here that kind of rhetoric influences their existence here. Like, they don't take that other vicarious part, like you're vicariously talking about these groups of people that are citizens that are here.
Well, that's just irresponsible as shit, isn't it? And again, I just feel when you're not able to look outside of yourself, because again, you don't care about these things, or you're not able to see that vicariousness because it doesn't impact you. You can't see beyond your own white male whatever existence. You can't see beyond that because you're not going to be impacted by this. Of course you're going to be with it.
And that's what makes it not a problem for those people. That's what makes them perceptually to themselves not racist, not xenophobic, not sexist. Because they have no idea. They can't look at another perspective. They can only look at their own. And so that's why they're not those things. It's not because they're not, but it's because they don't believe they are. And sometimes they're actually not.
I think that's few and far. I feel like more often than not, they are.
It's a lot of people that I have interacted with on my friends list that support Donald Trump that
I got rid of those folks long ago.
Well, they don't support Donald Trump exclusively as in that's their life. Okay. The other value that they have brought to me in their past and our past together is worth more than just this small minuscule
okay.
I support Donald Trump. But it helps me realize that I think a lot of it is conditioning. I think a lot of it is my family's always been Republican. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just believe in Republican ideals because I was told that this stuff makes sense. I was told that this stuff is right and Democrat is wrong. And they're going to find any reason to discredit Democrat and they're going to support Republican nominees. So it's a lot of people that's just conditioned to vote that way and they continue to vote that way.
I guess I'm just a firm believer in, I think it's important for your family to instill values and things in you, but I also feel like it's our responsibility once you become of age to figure out if those are actually valid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, and I can only speak for me. I don't know that there's anything that I currently do now that I just do just because it was done at home. There's a lot of shit I don't do that was done at home because I don't agree with it or it doesn't fit who I am. I get why they did it and I don't fault them for it or think that they should be. But at some point I had to just for myself decide what I was going to think and not automatically think it because my family of origin thinks so. And I just feel like everybody at some point should do. I know everybody's obviously not going to do that, but because I mean, how long can you just fall back on? Well, my family thought this, so this is why I think that doesn't make it okay.
Well, me and you and a bunch of other people are the critical thinkers of the world.
Yeah,
we're the ones that look at what we think, why we think it, if it's valuable to continue thinking it. If it is, we continue thinking it. Yeah. If it's not, then we find new ways of thinking. It's a lot of people out there that just go with what they have been told, what they have been taught, and that's what it is. And not only that, but we have experience in helping people overcome those pasts and histories that have created something that they don't like when they look in the mirror. And so we know that sometimes what we see in the mirror is based on that childhood, and then we have to critically assess whether we need to keep that thing. And so I mean, I think that's what takes a particular type of person. That ain't because we therapists. I think it's because we're critical thinkers. Yeah. You know, and if you can critically think about your life, I think that you'll be able to do that, but not a lot of people can do that.
It's unfortunate.
When you think about like Duck Dynasty dudes, I know they've been thinking like that since they was little babies. Their granddaddies gave it to them. Their great granddad gave it. It's a long line of people that told you how to think, and you know, there's no way of thinking outside of that.
Yeah, and that's I feel bad for people.
And I think it's more families like that than less.
It's unfortunate.
But Donald Trump is digging his own grave. However, we don't know how much support he really got. We don't know if the support he got is still enough with the bullshit he doing to challenge, you know, Hillary Clinton in an election.
I mean, some of his own folks are jumping ship. I saw something earlier this week where like a lot of the they're pulling funding, I think.
He keep fucking up.
Yeah.
There's only so much that a lot of these people can take and support because of their own brand. But the thing is, it's also a lot of support lost for Hillary due to these people going over to the third party, Green Party, and Bernie Sanders camp, like who just are going to choose not to. So we don't have a realistic scale of the kind of support that Hillary is going to have.
I'm still terrified for November
what Donald Trump got,
because I don't know what the end's going to be, and that makes me nervous. I don't know right now that we could for sure say what the outcome is going to be, and that scares me.
You know what? I'm confident that Hillary Clinton is going to win.
Let's hope so.
I'm confident that she's going to win. I mean, I don't care if she wins or not, you know, in the context of what she going to do, you know, or whatever, or my opinion about the president. But from my perspective, a Democrat need to be in office. Like, you know, I'm impartial to Hillary Clinton. Like, I don't got nothing for or against Hillary Clinton, really. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She's just a person that done made some mistakes, got her own ways of thinking. I don't agree with every single one of them, but you know what? I'm voting for, you know, the party that has the ideals that I support the most right now, that has a possibility of actually winning, and that's the Democratic Party right now. And even if I didn't support the Democratic Party exclusively, the Republican Party and all the stuff that they front runner is putting out there, I would be absolutely anti all that shit. And I'd probably still vote Democrat just because at the end of the day, even if the Democrat ideals don't align, if the Democrat ideals didn't align with my ideals, if the ideals of the other party were so far away from mine, it's still the one that I identify with the most in terms of my ideals. Because what I want is for the country to move in the direction that I think it should move in, you know? And I can't backtrack, even if moving forward ain't exclusively, you know, straight ahead. Yeah. I don't know. But
hopefully that answered. Yeah. In a long, roundabout way, because that's how we do on Conversation Card Artists. So, like I said, if you have a question that you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it in through the website, or you can send it in to the Gmail account, which is conversationcardartist@gmail.com. And I guess since we started off the show talking about this motherfucker, we should get right on into R. Kelly and his new 19-year-old girlfriend. Chaos. Now, for those of you who do not know, R. Kelly is 49 years old. He literally 3 decades older than this girl. Now I get her reasoning. You know, she with R. Kelly. She's with somebody that has money.
He got money.
She's with somebody that has fame and all of these things. I get her end of it. My problem is R. Kelly's end of it. R. Kelly's track record is one that concerns me, with him only dating children. Now this time he got somebody that like is of legal age, but it's still just like he's like the dirty old man. He out here dressed like the first day of school at like a junior high in the hood with the backpacks and the colorful clothes.
She was born when your ass turned 30, R. Kelly. Like, when you think of these things, I wonder what he thinks when, like...
He don't. Because most pedophiles don't. And fuck y'all if y'all have a problem with me calling him a pedophile, but that is what he is. Again, his track record has shown he is attracted to girls in their teens. And only girls.
But listen, teens. Age ain't nothing but a number, though.
Okay. Well, and then he married her, didn't he?
Which makes it okay.
She was 15 and he was like 28 or some shit. So around the time that his current girlfriend was about to be born in a couple of years, he was marrying a 15-year-old. What? And
which
and
made
later
it
on,
okay.
Why?
Because they were married.
She's 15. This is not, you know, in the Western way. You had to get married so that you have somewhere to live.
She needed her parent permission.
And that's another problem altogether. Didn't they get it annulled? Did she have their permission?
How did they get annulled? I don't know.
Cause that it was quick as shit. So I don't know that he had her parents' permission. Cause that shit got turned around real fast. And then like fast forward a few years and he pissing on a 14-year-old.
Listen, that was not R. Kelly. He was acquitted.
I don't give a shit. Just like he was acquitted, and so was fucking OJ, but we all know that nigga did it too. So, R. Kelly is a pedophile. Fight me if you want to. I don't really give a shit. And my biggest problem with R. Kelly has always been the support that he gets, despite the fact that he's very obviously into little girls, like teen girls. If this was anybody else, like if this was your homeboy from down the street that was 49 years old, fucking little girls, y'all would have a problem with that. But because it's R. Kelly, the Pied Piper in this bitch, y'all are fine with this. Like, no, his concert still got women tossing their panties on stage like they got a chance in hell, because you about 20, 30 years too old for R. Kelly, because again, he like them young.
Listen, y'all, I just want to let y'all know that I'm just challenging Red because I don't believe none of the shit I was saying about it being okay and about him not being him. I saw that video. That was R. Kelly. Head shaped the same. That was him. Okay. And the second thing is, I want to tell y'all a story. Okay. R. Kelly is the self-proclaimed Pied Piper of R&B.
He is indeed.
Do y'all know the story about the Pied Piper?
I don't think people do.
There is literally nowhere on the internet that you can go to get a positive depiction of the Pied Piper. So the Pied Piper is a story about this kingdom that had a huge rat problem, right? So there was this dude that they heard he could play some tunes and then he can control, animals and creatures and whatnot. And so the king promised to pay him a big payout if he could play and these rats and get rid of the rats out the kingdom. So he came and he did it. He got rid of all, he played his tune, and they all went into the river and drowned, except for one. Don't know what happened to that one. It didn't drown. It survived. The king reneged on his promise. He was like, you know what? This is extortion. I ain't giving you nothing.
You paying for my services extortion.
He was saying that in the original story, he was saying that you sent the rat in here and it infested everybody, and you knew we were gonna call on you to get rid of the rats one day. And he said, "Okay, fam." That's what the Pied Piper said. He said, "Okay, fam," and he left. He came back sometime later and started playing his tune, and all the children in the village started following him. All the children. He led the children to an unknown location. Now, this is where the interpretations start to get weird, because In one interpretation, he led them up to the top of a mountain. In one interpretation, he led them to a cave. In one interpretation, he led them to the same river that he drowned the rats in. In one interpretation, he was just a pedophile that had his way with the kids. But there is no positive version of the Pied Piper to want to call yourself the Pied Piper of anything.
I know which of the versions fit him. That last one. They just had his way with the kids.
But it's tons of versions of it. And apparently in the story, the only reason that cause I don't know how this happened because the adults didn't know that the kids was leaving.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Maybe it's at night, everybody was asleep. Like,
I don't know,
like
but
Pharaoh have you seen the Prince of Egypt? The was it the Holy Spirit came through and took all the firstborn children, but it was like at night. So then when everybody woke up the next morning, they had a whole bunch of dead kids. The Bible is real.
The Bible is on some other shit
vicious,
sometimes.
Man. It's fucking yeah.
But it was 3 kids left. This is how all the adults found out. One of them was blind, so couldn't see where to go. One of them was deaf, so he couldn't hear the music. And the other one had a limp, so he couldn't keep up with all the other kids. And so the only 3 left to tell the story, but none of the other kids were ever seen again. Why would R. Kelly call himself the fucking Pied Piper?
Pedophile.
But the thing is, if he is a pedophile, why would he call himself the name of a character that has a pedophile history? Unless it's intentional or the world's biggest coincidence of ignorance.
I think that he knew ain't nobody gonna go into this but you and I. You know what I'm saying? Most people, I'm sure, was like, they know the part about the rats and was like, yeah, he played his music and he get the bitches, his music get the bitches coming. So they just went with that surface ass explanation. I think the deeper explanation is that he is actually the Pied Piper and he out here. Because here's the thing that, again, makes me mad about his people continuing to support him, which I don't understand about pedophiles. By the time pedophiles get caught the first time, they have a bunch of victims under their belt. Like, they hardly ever get caught with the first ever child that they fucking around with. Normally, this shit has been some shit. Either that child has been victimized for a very long time, or there's been a succession of children. But that by the time they get caught, there's a varied history. So, knowing all that we know about R. Kelly, imagine all of the shit that we don't know that this nigga been out here doing. Like, that disturbs me. And the fact that he's still out here selling tours and y'all motherfuckers still going out here dancing and jigging while he up there on stage scoping out for the teen girls and the fucking audience, I just don't understand it. I don't even remember the last time I was in R. Kelly film. We could win tickets to see R. Kelly, and I would sell mine. I wouldn't go. I don't want to see him. I have no desire to see this motherfucker. He is a dirty old man as far as I'm concerned. And this nigga is dressing for 12-year-olds. He ain't out here dressing like all these older women, again, who go to these concerts to be screaming and shit. He not even checking for y'all. He out here dressed like, again, like the cool kid at a school in the hood in junior high on the first day of school.
R. Kelly would be dressing like Charlie Wilson if he wanted y'all.
Exactly. But instead, he dressing like fucking, I don't know who the kids are listening. That sounds so old. But he out here dressing like these little rappers coming up instead of the 49-year-old that he is. And I can tell you what, if I had been 19 years old, again, not R. Kelly, if I had just been 19 and I brought home a 49-year-old man, my mama would have probably slapped the shit like, girl, what? He my age. Fuck is you doing? Like, actually, at 19, he would have probably been older than my mom. Yeah.
What if you brought him home and he had pulled up a Bentley in the yard for your mama?
See, that's some of that Tina Turner shit. Where have you seen What's Love Got to Do with it? Where Ike run over her rose bushes and he coming to get Tina. And so Ike, in the very beginning, when he was getting Tina to come sing for him, came rolling up, and her mama was like, she ain't going with you, da 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 da. He pulled out a roll of bills and picked off a couple and was like, here, this for your rose bushes that he hadn't even touched. She let Tina go with him. She encouraged that relationship because my mom's not that mom. My mama still, first of all, she would have been like, you don't even know me, what you bringing me a car? My mom don't trust shit. So no, it wouldn't have mattered. Not with Peggy. Not with my mom. I don't think that she would have been like, why you buying cars? even more suspicious. So what is it that you're doing that you want to fucking distract me with this car for?
Well, when you at the age of 19, it don't matter because you grown.
Again, well, no.
In quote, air quotes.
Just finna fucking say, you didn't met my mom. Doesn't matter. I'm 31 now. She don't give a shit about that. So, I get it from the 19-year-old's perspective. It's R. Kelly's perspective that concerns me. I get why she doing it.
She probably ain't even heard his first damn albums.
No. She wasn't even thought about when his first albums came out.
His first album probably inspired her existence. Like, not even his first album
not
for
even
real.
His first
like
album.
His fifth or sixth album might have inspired her existence.
He probably older than her parents. I'm telling you. You're not gonna bring home somebody that's fucking older than me. Are you kidding me? And you're my child? The fuck out of here. You do it this old ass man. And for all of y'all who trying to make comparisons of fucking, because everybody always want to do this black white thing. So, well, nobody say anything to Hugh Hefner. First of all, most of the time when I see Hugh Hefner, he in pajamas. Hugh Hefner's not out here dressing for children. And then most of the girls come to him because they want to be in the Playboy Mansion. He not out here picking off little 15, 16-year-olds. Like, that is not the same thing. And even if it was the same thing, how does that make him being a pedophile? Okay, so it's a white pedophile out here too. Now you got two fucking pedophiles. Still wrong. Give a fuck about Hugh Hefner. What does that mean? And Hugh Hefner's like 90 now.
And the problem is R. Kelly's track record with women of that age range. It's not like an isolated situation. No. This is multiples.
Again, and that's just the stuff that we know of. I can guarantee you he done had many a relationship that then went under the fucking radar that we don't know about. Probably won't know about until another scandal. And every time he get in some situation, he make these like, fucking, if I could turn back the hands of time, or what was another one? He make these inspirational songs when he in trouble in the public.
Right after he got acquitted, he wrote "You Saved Me." Now that shit went to his lawyer, I'm telling you.
He always write these he take a break from sex because that his last few albums, like, somebody sent me, a coworker made me a CD of Black Panties. I listened to that first track. I ain't listened to no more of that shit. That shit is the most vulgar shit ever. Like, why would you want to listen to this? Like, who is listening to this?
But R. Kelly has always been there, though.
But not to this extent. Like,
his first album had a song on it called "I Like the Crotch on You."
What?
I like the crotch on you.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Wow.
Like, that has been that was inception from the inception of his fame. He been this freaky old weird dude that older women thought was singing to him, or at least women his age, but he been singing to kids.
Never singing to y'all. He was never singing to y'all. Somebody made a joke. I think he has a son that was like, she went to kindergarten with his son, and he just been waiting on her to grow up. He been keeping his eye on her for the last few years till she got of age. And she's a very beautiful girl, but she's 19 years. What could you possibly have in common with a 19-year-old when you're 49 years old?
The same backpacks and similar,
well, when you dress like
similar
a kid,
dress styles.
Yeah, if you dress that way, like, y'all haven't had the same life experiences. Shit, y'all ain't even from the same time period. Like, he done went through shit she don't even understand. There's parts of history that she don't even have a concept of because she wasn't fucking here yet. She's this bitch can't even go out and get drinks with you. She not old enough to drink. Like, she can barely smoke with you legally. Like, are you kidding me?
Listen, 19-year-old, I don't know your name.
I don't even remember her
Marry
name.
that man. And when you turn 26, you're going to be too old.
You're going to be way too old for him.
And
shit, probably not even 26.
Don't let him sign a prenup. You can get paid out of this situation. You can get paid. Your life can be set up right. If you play your cards right.
It's just disgusting. And for y'all who are R. Kelly fans, whatever. If you like his music, okay. I just cannot separate him. I can separate people from the things that they do outside of their creativity. In a lot of cases, you being a fucking pedophile and taking advantage of like kids, I can't. That's not something I could just. I don't give a fuck if you can't sing. You should be singing in prison right now, in the prison talent show.
Now, Robert Kelly is the pedophile. R. Kelly is the singer.
I can't.
He's singing to the women's.
He's singing to them kids. He ain't never been singing to no women. They just thought he was.
No, he's singing to the women's. But when he Robert Kelly, he listened to his music and play it for the kids.
So terrible.
I don't know how you separate that stuff. I don't care about R. Kelly.
Again, there are certain, like, I feel like people have the right to live their life. This isn't even about a lifestyle choice. Pedophilia is illegal. You can't do that shit. And again, if this was anybody else, people would have a problem with that. If this was the nigga down the street again, y'all would have a problem with that. Y'all would be rallying for him to be locked up. You wouldn't want him around your fucking kids. You would have a problem with that. But because it's R. Kelly and he can sing, he get a pass. Or you act like people are giving him a hard time. There's evidence to back this shit up. This ain't being made up on him. This ain't people just lying on R. Kelly. He out here doing this shit. He's a pedophile.
Have you ever been to a concert, a singer's concert, any singer, like an R&B singer?
Vivian Green and Anthony Hamilton. Yes.
Is there any that you would go to if they came here?
This Beyonce count?
Male.
Ooh, it's hardly any good ones left.
Any artist in their prime?
Who did I list? Okay, Boys to Men.
Boys to Men.
A single artist, Joe. I would go see Joe.
Yeah. Okay. You like Joe?
I like Joe.
Joe is a pedophile now. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that situation? Like, are you still listening to all his music? Are you gonna stop listening to his music? Would you not go to his concert because of that?
I wouldn't go to the concert to support him. The music that I already have, I mean, I would probably still listen to that, but I wouldn't continue to support him because at that point, I'm gonna feel like you need to be locked up somewhere. So that, because again, pedophilia is not something that's gonna go away. If Joe is a pedophile today, Joe gonna be a pedophile 15 years.
He was always a pedophile. He was a pedophile through all that music too. Then
didn't know it though. Once I'm aware of it, though, I'm not gonna be able to be. I'm not gonna be able to support it after.
So,
that.
do you stop listening to his music after that?
I probably would still listen to the songs that I had been like the older, like the stuff that I had already listened to. I wouldn't purchase none of his new albums, and I definitely wouldn't go see him in concert. Because the music I already got, I don't feel like it's necessarily supporting him because it isn't putting money. It's not helping him out. If I go to his concert, I'm helping give him money. I'm not doing that. I don't want to support a pedophile. So at the point that I find out that Joe is a pedophile, fuck that guy. He should be locked up. I can't deal with it. I can't.
I got you.
Because now it's going to be hard for me to listen to this and not think about the fact that you're a pedophile. The same thing with R. Kelly. Like, when we were looking at the song and coming up with lyrics, do you know how easy that shit was? Because it's just right there. Like, it's right there in your mind, in my mind. So I can't listen to him and not realize that this motherfucker, when he made this song, probably had a 12-year-old in mind. That bothers me. I can't. It's icky. It makes me feel icky. I don't want to listen to it. And I don't even, my iPod has literally thousands of songs on it. And not one of them is an R. Kelly song. I don't have any of his music. None. Because it's weird. I can't. I don't know.
I gotcha.
Now I still know the songs that I already knew of his. Of course, I still know them. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, some of them we had to look up because we couldn't. Because we neither one of us have listened to him in forever. So
I don't give a rat's ass about R. Kelly. I haven't for a long time.
It's mostly women, sadly. That I think is still his fan base is largely women. So women, I'm talking to y'all out here fucking throwing panties at R. Kelly. He don't give a fuck about your granny panties. He wants some, fucking Powerpuff Girl pantaloons. He not out here checking for you. But, okay, I guess we could get off pedophilia. Let's talk about, but we still could talk about children. Teenagers are fucking nuts right now. Like, they are so aggressive. You have Amy Joyner, who is a teenager, who got murdered in April, murdered at her school. I believe more than likely it was over a boy because it was over a boy. They stomped her out in the bathroom. Now, she already had an existing heart condition. So the girl's lawyers are trying to say, well, it was the heart condition that killed her, not my clients. Fuck out of here. You gonna tell me that stomping out had nothing to do with exacerbating her heart condition? sorry, no, your client's guilty. I remember being in high school, and I remember girls fighting over boys. I remember girls physically fighting over boys. I don't ever remember anybody trying to murder somebody. Like, they jumped on her, ripped her fingernails out. Like, this was some vicious ass shit. Are you fucking kidding me? You had that happen.
If you took one of your friends to somebody that was going to murder them, you might not have murdered them, but you arranged a meeting. That's called conspiracy in the least. So if the heart attack killed a girl, y'all arranged the meeting.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So some responsibility needs to be taken in that.
And a lot of times the conspirator gets more than the person who actually carried it out, because the conspirator is the whole reason that it happened. Like when wives hire somebody to murder their husband and get found out, you're going to get more years, because this man wouldn't have even done this had you not paid him to do so. But you had that happen in April. Then you had, I can't remember the name of the NFL player whose 16-year-old murdered him and his wife. They haven't released any more details about that. That was a recent case. I don't know if he was mad at his parents. Again, my parents pissed me off my whole adolescence. Not one time did I ever imagine. And my dad has guns. My dad is a hunter. It was all shotgun. Any kind of gun I would possibly need to off them was in the house. Never crossed my mind to just get a gun and murder my parents. The fuck? And then right here in our own backyard, there was a 19-year-old named Jonathan Pitts. I think his last name is Pitts. Let me not lie. Yes, Jonathan Pitts, who not only murdered his mother, he set her corpse on fire. What is going on with these teenagers? Like, why the fuck are y'all so aggressive right now? Like, murdering people. That was never, like, I never went to school and had to worry about whether or not, like, I might have got beat up. I've never been in a fight. I had a smart mouth. Nobody ever fought me though. But I might have got beat up. Never did I have to worry about somebody like killing me. You die at school, in the bathroom, at school, during school hours. Like, what the fuck? Or I don't want to have a kid, and then that kid turns 16, and I tell that kid, you know what? Your grades dropped. Give me that. Give me your iPhone. Give me your iPad. None of that shit. And then I wake up to the barrel of a gun in my face. Like, the fuck? Why is this? Why? Why are kids so much more aggressive now?
I don't know. Maybe they're not more aggressive now. Maybe we are getting more reports of it because of media and social media and the accessibility that we have, the information and the shit that Facebook trends.
Maybe.
Which is random as fuck all the time.
But like, even with AC brought up that point. But like, okay, with the Alabama case is going to be a case that you and I know about because we live here. That wasn't national news. So like, we don't even see, I don't feel like we see all of the ones that have, because I feel like some of the more local ones is going to air in the state, in the city where it happens. They're not going to, like, it's not going to get national news though, because the 19-year-old killed, that was on AL.com. So like, the rest of the country's not even going to probably even know that happened.
I think kids always been aggressive as hell.
But like, murdering people aggressive? Like, I know teenagers are aggressive, testosterone. I get that, but murdering people aggressive? Like, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, them girls didn't mean to murder that other girl. You know what I'm saying? It murder wasn't the case. That wasn't the expectation. The expectation was for her to get her ass beat, and then, you know, they was gonna go about their day.
That group mentality shit get out of hand real fast because everybody's engaging in it, so there's nobody to pump the brakes and be like, hey, wait, no, it's enough, because everybody's engaged in it, and so till somebody's dead, it doesn't stop.
But either way, they don't believe that that's what they would be doing. Okay. And then 16-year-old,
what about the other cases?
You might be talking about sociopaths. Psychopaths out here. Like, you a psychopath when you live.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know.
Except, you know, we get out of hand every now. I just think if the implication is that kids just now started being aggressive like that, you know, it's just the ones that we're hearing about recently, they just got a little bit out of hand. A lot of bit out of hand. People died. Like, but there was a couple of years ago, there was a kid, I think it was upstate New York,
He killed his mom, because she took his iPod. That was his only reason for killing her, is because she took his iPod, because he had fucked up in school some kind of way, and she wouldn't give it back, so she had to die. The fuck? Are you kidding me? You kill your mother, your support, your financially, you kill the person responsible for your very existence because she took your iPod, not even an iPhone, because you can't listen to your music? You fucking kidding me?
I don't know. It can be a lot of different things. A part of it is the gun culture, because you notice that, you know, in these last ones they getting shot, right?
Yeah, the girls stomped out. They went old school, but yeah.
Gun culture, it could be, you know, Looney Tunes. You know, well, motherfucker, you had that perception that you don't die. You're just not having an understanding of death. You know, they don't come back like they do in comics and TV and shit. You know, I don't know. I don't think it's much more. I think the same shit that been had. Like, people are all like, you know, the world is getting worse. It ain't getting worse. This shit was going on in 1600s. All the shit going on now was going on in 1600s. We just have more tools to access, to kill, to murder. We got the same mentalities. We got the same tenacity for death and destruction. That's always been here.
I got a question that maybe, I know you can't answer this, but maybe some of like the religious people that are listening can answer for me, because I always wonder this. Every time something happens, everybody talks about, oh, it's the end of days. Why is now the end of days? Why was, when the Holocaust was going on, why was that not the end of days? Or why, when fucking slavery was going on, why was that not the end of days? Or why, when any number of these wars that have been fought where countless people were being murdered? Like, what makes now the time for the end of days? Like, every time I hear somebody say that, I'm like, first of all, you're basing that on what's going on with us in this part of the world right now, not taking into account any place else. Like, why now? Why is now the end of days?
I think that Revelations, being the last book of the Bible and being the interpretive book of the Bible in terms of the future, it's a lot of stuff that they are seeing that's happening now. However, I think that they fit what happens into the Bible, because
you can fit other time periods. You can look, if you look for it, you can find the same things that you see now that make you feel like this is the end of days. End of days could have happened 1,000 years ago. Like, I just don't understand. Whenever I hear somebody say that, I'm like, why now? We done had a whole lot of horrible shit happen, worse than what's going on now in the past.
But see, my thing is, like, as humans, we the only ones that really have the concept of time. If the Bible was written by God vicariously through all of these other people, God don't have a sense of time. Like, the end of days for God can be fucking 35 billion years. You know what I'm saying? And people are interpreting it as the end of days because, look, we need time. We need definition. We ain't got that much.
Yeah. We
need to know where we stand. God don't, if he exists.
Every time I hear that, I'm just like, why now? Like, I never ask, because as much as people like to like talk about Muslims, Christians will get in your ass about things. So I've just learned to not question people's beliefs, especially if it's a belief that they don't necessarily have a background or a foundation on which to stand. They're gonna fight even more like brutally about it, and it ain't even worth it. The conversations it's not even worth getting into. Like, if they don't have an answer, my mom, for example, when she did not have an answer, don't question God. I'm not questioning God. I'm questioning you. You the one telling me this. I just need to know why you feel this way.
It's because they believe it. It's because they believe it. It's because Christians today and Christians from since the beginning of Christianity, they are just upholding the rules that was created. Now, whether those rules were genuinely created by God or whether they were created at a round table by a group of geniuses, like the smartest people that have ever existed, if that's what happened. If that's the case, they don't have the answers. They don't know that it was created in some kind of, random weird way. All they know is this is what they believe. They can't answer them questions.
No, they cannot. And they get angry at you for even asking. It's like, that's
been my dilemma. Because, I call myself a Christian by conditioning. Because all I know was what my mama told me. She never gave me no answers.
She don't know.
I don't feel the same. I'm a logical, analytical person. I don't know if that take the faith and feeling away from me, but I need answers. I don't need just listen to me, just pay attention to me. I don't need that.
Because God said. But again, anytime I don't question God, I'm not questioning God. Because God didn't tell me this. You did. I'm asking you just for a better explanation as to why this is something you believe this strongly in. And you can't answer it to me. So I shouldn't. Your solution to that is stop asking questions. But yeah, every time shootings, it's the end of days. It's these are the end times. Okay, but based on what? Because bad things are happening. Bad things been happening since the world's been in existence. Bad things always happen. There's a cycle of bad shit that occurs. I don't know.
And that's why I don't think it's much different. I think that there is ebb and flows and waves of how things happen. In the last 3 or 4 years, a lot of kids been doing a lot of crazy shit. After that, some serial killers gonna come back for a wave of years. After that, women gonna get crazy for some period of time. After it's just it ebb and flows. It goes in waves. And I think this is just a wave. At a certain point, we ain't gonna be seeing kids killing nobody.
Let's hope. By the time any little reds are born, I hope that this is over with, because I will take a kid out. I will fucking no. If it's between me and you because you trying to kill me, you gotta go. You gotta fucking go. No. Sorry. I brought you in this world. Not to be cliche, but I will fucking take... No. So, Little Red, if you ever listen to this, I'm telling you, watch your ass.
The only scenario in which you gonna have that kid is if your kid is a psychopath. Is if your kid is born without empathy, without apathy, without sympathy, without any concern for their fellow humans and animals and living creatures. And that way, you just gonna have to get rid of the kid.
Yeah,
unfortunately, you're gonna find out way too late. And you don't find out your kid crazy until it's too damn late to do anything.
Yeah.
They 5, you be like, damn, this motherfucker keep kicking the cat. Might be crazy. 5 is too late. You can't do nothing with that.
It's over at that point. But also, speaking of kids, well, they're not necessarily small kids, but y'all need to leave fucking Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles alone. I'm not really watching the Olympics. I mean, go America, I guess. I'm not an Olympics watcher. I'm glad that we are doing so well at the Olympics. But all of y'all out here on these girls about their hair, let me explain something to you. They are out here flipping and turning and balancing and tumbling and rolling, and why the fuck would they go and get their hair laid just to fuck it up? See, this is what happens when you are not used to being mobile and you're not used to being active and you don't know what all that entails. For you to have the expectation that these girls are going to go get their hair slayed for them to compete in a competition that is extremely physical is fucking ridiculous. While you sitting in your salon chair all goddamn day, because I used to go to the salon before I went natural, and I know you spent a whole Saturday in that bitch just to get a perm and a washing set. While you sitting in your chair, they out here winning gold, right? You at home cheering for them to beat your hair's country of origin in the Olympics. Yet you have a problem with the hair that they got on their head. Y'all need to shut the fuck up. Please do me that favor, cause I don't get I guess when you're so amazing, fucking Simone Biles has a routine named after her. It's called the Biles because that's just how fucking bad she is. And then y'all want to focus on somebody's hair? Sit down. Have a stadium of fucking seats. Like, y'all are crazy. And you sound crazy and you sound bitter and a little bit jealous.
They are. Because when you say something like, look at her edges, it's a deflection because when you look in the mirror, you don't see none. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, why I can't have edges? You know what I'm saying? I mean, damn. But I think it's just a small subset of
it is, and those are the only
that.
ones that I'm referring to. Fuck y'all. Y'all need to leave her alone. You want her to beat these folks. Yeah, you know. And again, if you wear a weave, go ahead. I don't care. My point is, do what you do. Let them do what they do. They out here being great. They have accomplished more than most of y'all will accomplish in a lifetime, in their young ass life. Just congratulate them and move the fuck on. Why you care so much about how they hair look? Like, girl, please sit down. Have a seat. Because again, while you sitting in a salon chair being stationary as fuck, they out here winning medals. Gold medals at that. So y'all need to just shut up. How about that? And leave these girls alone. Fucking wrong with y'all. Like, and then to be picking at, like, Gabby Douglas is 19 now, but 4 years ago she was 15, and y'all went in on her about her hair. That is a child who is out again doing accomplishing amazing things, and yet you still gotta find some kind of way to bring her down. And it's us, it's her own folks that are fucking doing this. Like, y'all don't sit down. Please sit down and stop that. You look crazy.
This is what we are.
Crabs in a barrel. Fucking crabs in a barrel. Pulling the person above you down, trying to get to the top, not realizing that everybody's doing that and nobody's ever going to get the fuck out of the barrel. Crabs in a barrel. We have a crabs in a barrel mentality. Fucking crabs.
My bad.
I'm done.
You done?
Yeah. Minnesota or Minneapolis. Milwaukee.
Crabs in a barrel. A barrel is not the natural habitat of a crab. And I'm saying that to say that the original habitat of African American culture that left us disenfranchised is one in which people should never have been exposed to. You know, and so now we have the residuals left of that, where I don't think we crabs in a barrel, but we damn sure ain't crabs in the natural habitat that we supposed to be in.
I think America is our barrel. We're all fighting to get to the top, and I think America is the barrel.
Is America the barrel? Maybe, but I guess I'm saying that to say that it used to be a tiny ass. It used to be a worse.
Yeah, I mean, it was a
habitat.
smaller barrel.
Yeah,
we're in a bigger barrel now, but a barrel.
We're in a bigger barrel, and we can move about, and we can do shit, but, you know.
Still a barrel.
That's about it.
Yeah. We got a spacious barrel now.
Yeah.
Instead of a little narrow one.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all know what's going on in Milwaukee. Apparently, I don't know if y'all know what's going on in Milwaukee, but apparently a armed African American suspect was shot and killed, and Milwaukee is like in flames. Like, not the whole place, but they done looting. Burnt some stores. They done threw rocks at police officers. Now I don't know how much of the city this is. I don't know if this is one particular street, one particular corner. I don't know. But we gotta have a discussion about what that means for a movement like Black Lives Matter.
Everybody is not a hashtag. Like, and again, I mean, you disagree with me, fight me if you want, but.
And if everybody up to this point has been a hashtag, everybody moving forward is not going to be a hashtag.
No. Every situation is not a hashtag situation. Every situation is not an example or one in which the Black Lives Matter movement should or needs to get behind. I think when you do that, the movement itself is weakened by that. Like if every time anybody, no matter what the situation was, no matter what was going on, if they automatically become a hashtag and riots and looting and all of that shit happens, then it makes what the statement that we're trying to make in the first place so much weaker. Like it hurts it.
If you group every single person, if you group every black death in the context of being a hashtag, it don't take into account those people that probably should have died. And I'm not saying anybody should die, but the circumstances that led to their death should have been avoided in different ways.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to start looking at the context of how these happen, because if we're telling people that Black Lives Matter was created under the context of police killing black people, you know what I'm saying? Unjustly, without cause, that were unarmed. Well, that's different than somebody being armed
and resisting, being told to put the gun down and refusing.
Now, a part of the whole dialogue lately has been that the police are lying, and so a lot of it is, the police are lying, but they can't be lying. Every single police, every single time, might not be lying about every situation. At what point do we recognize that, like, people gonna do stupid shit?
Yes, and
like, are we? Yeah. If you support every single black person that dies by the hands of police, are you saying that no black person ever does something in which they should be shot for?
But now, all know that that's not necessarily
I don't know. This dialogue sounds really weird because, for me, it's not really been about what happens to a person. It's been about the disproportionate rate at which it happens to white people versus black people.
And please don't send us videos of white suspects, because we all know that happens. I don't need a timeline full of videos of them taking down a white suspect that has a gun without killing them. Like, I don't need that. Please don't do that.
This is what we have to figure out, because this is difficult. We have to figure out the line between wanting an idealistic existence in which the same thing happens to everybody equally and fighting for that, and the reality. Yes, everything that happens to every culture should happen the same. Everybody should be colorblind. Nobody should see and treat people different by their color, which statistics show. But the reality is that it happens. And so at what point, where is the balance between wanting a better tomorrow versus the today we have? Like, I don't know. I don't know where that line is.
Yeah. It's a hard line to draw. And I don't want anybody to feel like we're saying he should have died. What we're saying is that every situation is not one in which every situation is not going to be a situation where you're sitting in the car trying to get your license and you get shot in the face. That situation to me is not the same as this situation. Like,
and let's say if this current situation as it's been reported is indeed true, that there was a car chase which led to a foot chase, which led to somebody having a gun and pulling it out, which led to person being shot, then that is absolutely different from the situation where you're in the car reaching for your license, which is absolutely different than getting the police called on you for having a gun while you're outside of the store selling CDs, which is absolutely different than a police officer pulling up on you and shooting you like Tamir Rice, which is absolutely different than there's different contexts for all of these things, because there are different levels to how all of these situations are supposed to be, handled, and I'm not even apt to believe that the police in a lot of cases are trustworthy with the truth after these situations happen.
Yeah.
But every one of these situations is not going to be a innocent, they didn't do it type of situation, or unarmed type of situation. Like, and I'm not saying, I don't know the facts behind all this shit. I'm just saying at a certain point, we can't lump every single one of these into the same situation.
You just have to be careful about doing that. And And it's crazy because, like, when you say that, then it's like you're against the
movie. It sound bad. It's saying it sound bad. You know?
I get why people would think it sounds bad, but I still think that that's how you have to be. You have to be very careful about which ones.
Like, at what point would black people say he deserved to die? You know? Damn. That sounded bad. And I don't mean he deserved to die, but I understand.
You sound like fucking Sam Jackson.
He deserved to die, and I hope they burn in hell. I'm saying that at what point do you say, well, damn, the decisions he made fucked him up?
Yeah. Really good.
Like, do a black person have to record a video or live Facebook video and say, I'm finna fuck with these cops. I got the chopper. Hopefully this don't end up in my death. And then he get killed. Or black people gonna be like, well, you saw that fucking live Facebook feed. Or are they gonna burn the motherfucking city to the ground? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you burn the city to the ground in every instance, it's going to weaken the cause, and it's not going to continue to be a specified situation.
Yeah.
Maybe it need to be another movement for people who get killed by the police that are armed. I don't know.
I don't know. Because I don't want to get into this, but that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to talk about Corinne's story. Is because of the differences, not even just with the gun, but just the mental illness that I feel like was present during that situation.
Yeah, I mean,
that was one of the reasons why I didn't want, like, I made a conscious decision to not, because it was so many differences, and I wasn't just automatically on board with that one.
I just don't want to weigh in on something in which mental health might be a situation, because anything that we say really invalidates the mental health.
Yeah.
And if the mental health is the variable that created that situation, then appropriate mental health treatment or appropriate, application of funds to mental health treatment in America can resolve that and a lot more issues.
Yeah, a lot more
So issues. I don't want to talk about it if it's a potential mental health situation.
Yeah. And I felt like that one was. I felt like her, just given the other videos, that there was something else going on there. So I just feel like people should be careful about what they're lumping in. I don't know that everything goes in with this. And I don't know that everybody should become a hashtag. So yeah. And I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a ton of people who have a problem with this.
I mean,
a huge amount of people, but
I mean, I'm fine with it. I just don't believe in generalizations, and context is important.
Yeah. People
be trying to erase context to validate their points, but that same context can be used to invalidate your point and invalidate a movement.
Yep.
If you want the movement to believe and mean and stand for what you want it to believe and stand for, then it has to represent what it's supposed to represent. It can't represent instances in which criminals do crazy shit,
because that fucking shit happens.
It can't represent that shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
It can't represent just blatant all out murderers. It can't represent sociopaths. It can't represent people who have done things that are going to make the movement look crazy. It can't. Otherwise it's going to weaken the movement, and it ain't gonna mean what you want it to mean, and it's just gonna be washed out, and nobody is gonna listen to it, because it's just, every time a black person dies, blah 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 blah. But that's why they
had to set the city on fire. Shit, didn't know that.
It's a whole bunch of cities waiting for some shit like this to happen so they can goddamn pop off out there. It's a whole bunch of cities waiting for that. That kind of snap reaction. I'm not made of that shit. I am a thinker. I'm a planner, and irrationally so with that. I plan for worst case scenarios, best case scenarios, all them saying. That's just how my mind works. I'm mad, I'm finna tear some shit up. Never been that way.
No.
So I don't all the way get it, but I get it. I get how a community and a culture can display their anger and their frustration, but they had to do this without knowing anything. What happened was a whole bunch of people got calls and said Pookie got shot by the police, and they burned it down the city. They don't know what Pookie did. They don't know what Pookie had on him. They don't know if it was, I don't want to say justified, but because police in some countries, they don't kill no fucking body.
Yeah.
And when it comes to white people, they barely, in these kind of instances, they don't kill white people. They don't shoot white people like that. It's just about how disproportionately it happens to other people. It's a dude called a liberal redneck, right?
Is that the one that did the video about the black women?
The black one. I don't think he done a video about black women.
Okay.
It's I don't think he don't really talk as redneckish as he do in real life. He comedian, but he had a video in which he kind of called out rednecks about, he was like, so when did rednecks become okay with police? He said rednecks out here, and he said, when did rednecks start getting shot or questioned about having a gun in their car, because every redneck got a gun in their car. And he said, we out here getting shot for our shenanigans, while black people out here getting shot for being black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a lot of instances. And so he just points out some of the hypocrisy and shit. But I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday in which he wanted to respond to one of my racism videos, but didn't really want to sound crazy. So he said, is racism really, is it really racism? What you calling it racism? And he was asking from the perspective that it's not the same as it used to be, and I believe that racism ain't the same as it used to be. It don't have as strong a grip on our culture like it used to have, but even a weakened grip of it is still called racism. Even oppression ain't the way that it used to be, but even a weakened grip on it is oppression.
Yeah.
And so we got into the conversation, and it got to a point where I was like, perceptual, like I shouldn't feel as an African American that perceptually the way the rest of America think about me is I bring nothing to the table.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I don't believe that, but perceptually, from their perspective, I feel like they don't believe African Americans are worth shit.
Yeah. Free labor.
In the media, it hadn't been a damn thing that I done heard in a long time that has been positively said about African Americans. It's always shit. In debates on Facebook, in the comment section, don't nothing make me supposed to feel like I'm worth something if I leave it up to America.
Yeah. That's true.
Because even us getting shot is our fault. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't doing none of that shit. Like, I can't do any more. Because they say, black people gotta change if they don't want this to happen. I can't do no more, motherfuckers. I got a master's degree. I'm a counselor. I work in the community with kids. I can't do no more. The only thing I can do is just not eat watermelon and chicken around white people, keep my pants pulled up, wear my hats right, like not wear do-rags, speak more properly, not look threatening. Like, it ain't nothing else I can do. And so the problem, if you have it with me, is perceptual from your perspective. You're looking at me because you can't see none of that shit I do from across the street. So if you look at me and you lump me in with all the black people, you got a problem.
Yep.
That ain't our problem. We can't fix that shit.
Nope.
And I just don't like feeling like that in America, man. But I feel like that.
Yeah.
I know black people is worth a lot, through our contributions, through our inventions, through, a lot of what we offer to society. But I can't look at other people and think that they think that. But, whatever. It is what it is. That's all I got for that shit.
Somebody parked cricket again. I did not go off. I did not call Mr. On Point. I did send you a text message though and said this motherfucker parked cricket again.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't call though and rant. And I didn't confront him about parking cricket. I let it go. It hurt, but I let it go.
The question is gonna be what you do if you see him.
I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just now. If he parks crooked again, I don't know I don't know what my from time to time from each specific incident of him parking his car crooked. I don't know what my response is gonna be. I think I was in a better mood yesterday. Also, I wasn't trying to carry in groceries up a fucking flight of stairs and have to walk extra because you don't know how to park. That was not the case yesterday. So maybe I was feeling a bit more generous and just did. Because the last time I sat out on my balcony and I waited for him to come to his car so that I could confront him about that.
He never came, did he?
He did.
He did.
He did. And I told him that I had been cussing him out about his parking spot. And he said, yeah, I figured this is what he said. Yeah, I figured people were going to be upset. But I just want you to know that I don't normally do this. I was in a hurry, blah, blah, blah. But then every time I fucking see this little silver Altima, though, it's crooked. So I didn't call him on that. I was just like, oh, okay. But I know that you always do this because you don't give a fuck about anybody else because you're selfish.
You need to start taking pictures of his crooked ass car and put it in an album. And then next time just be like, look, here. Just keep swiping. This ain't no one-time shit. You can't park. Park your ass over there.
I'm gonna look like a crazy person, a stalker, if I have like a bunch of pictures of his car of different days. But like,
what's the fun in being a crazy person on the inside if you don't let nobody see it on the outside?
Are you calling me crazy?
I'm not calling you crazy. I'm saying if you had your way,
yes, I would fuck
you would do some shit to him.
I wouldn't even do anything to him. I would fuck up his car. That's what I would do. If I was the kind of person that destroy other people's property, his car would have been fucked up. But I'm not. I'm not going to do that. But if I go home today and that little silver Altima is out there parked crooked, I don't know that I'm going to let it go like I did yesterday. Maybe I will.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what you need to do, okay? This is keep you out of trouble with the law. Because you can't destroy the man's property.
I'm not going to fuck his car up.
But you can buy a whole bunch of Post-it notes and just put them all over his car. Just put them all over his car. Just everywhere. On the tires, on the top, everywhere. Now, he gonna definitely be late for wherever he going. Or he gonna get there looking like a dumbass. Now, that is not destroying property. So, I don't think they'll arrest you. They can't do nothing to you for putting Post-its on somebody's car, could they?
Could it be like, isn't nuisance? Isn't that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I would
nuisance to another person.
What I would probably do, because I'm petty. My car is tiny. I drive a very, very small car. So even with him going over the line, I could still get my car in the parking space and still be in the line so that I'm not blocking somebody else, but he wouldn't be able to get into his car. So what I'm probably going to do is park in the parking space anyway and make it where he can't get into his fucking car without going over to the passenger side and sliding in. He tall, so it's going to be very annoying for him to have to fucking do that. And because I've already said something to him and he knows what car that I drive, he's going to know that I did that shit on purpose probably. Because then his only alternative is to damage my car, which will get his ass kicked. Not by me, I have to call my folks, but either damage the car or get in from the passenger side. And then stop fucking parking crooked, because if you didn't park crooked, you would have plenty of room to get into your vehicle. You're over on my side. You over in my fucking parking space. So, if you can't get in your car, you fucking can't get in your car. Sorry. So hopefully he won't even be there when I get home. And then he don't even he parks in front of my building. He doesn't live in that building. He has to walk back behind. So like, you're taking a space that would be super convenient for me because you are selfish. Like, again, I'm not a perfect parker, but if I get out of my car and I see that I'm over in another parking space, I move, I change it, I fix it. Because I'm not an asshole. Not in that way. I am an asshole, not in that particular way. But I didn't, go crazy. Because the last time, y'all, I called Mr. On Point, and I probably ranted about that for about 20 minutes.
Yep.
I was livid. I was so mad. I was so angry. But I wasn't yesterday. I was very zen about it. I was just like, I did curse in the car. I was, when I swung in and realized I couldn't park there and had to back up and go to another space. I was like, this motherfucking bitch can't park for shit. But then by the time I got out of the car, I let it go. And I just went on into my apartment.
Kudos.
I really just don't want you to have to come on here and ask them to like go fund me some bail money.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
I just don't want that to happen. So
You don't need them problems.
I don't, and that's not the kind of show we run here. So trying to behave myself.
I will do the show by myself until you get out. I won't stop. I'm just gonna pretend to be you on your parts.
That would be entertaining. You know what? We should do that in an episode. I should be you and you should be me for an episode. I don't know if we could do that.
I don't know.
I mean, you're so zen and cool. Like, I could probably be you. I don't know if you could be me.
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
I think it'd be harder for you to be me.
It would be. It would be hard to be you. But not impossible.
Not impossible. I think you could do it. I just think that I would have the easier job that week because I would just be like cool and zen and baseline, and you would have to be irate about something.
Yeah, I would.
So,
you got anything else on your mind?
that be it.
Till we come to the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.